One thing I love about some of these videos is the MAGA people that are making these apology videos for voting for this administration. This one is funny. It's quick. She's like, I just won't say I'm sorry. I have to vote for him. I need to say I'm sorry. I voted for him. I'm real sorry. I didn't know. I thought he was going to make things better for us. I thought he was going to help folks like me. I really did. Now my staff's gone. I can't buy my groceries. I can't put my lights on. First of all, the groceries you shouldn't worry about. Anyway, I just can't believe it now. They cut off my heat and help last week. I don't know how I'm supposed to buy groceries next month to keep the lights on. Now, what about my diabetes? My diabetes, man, is acting up. Can't feel my foot, can't feel my feet, and I didn't even do. Now my SNAP's gone, my Medicaid's gone. Get out of here. This is what you voted for. You voted because you thought black people were going to get f***ed, didn't you? Black folks, especially black Americans, have been living with nothing for the longest time. So surviving is very, very easy. Very easy. You understand? That's why black folks are playing it smart. We're moving as a unit, other than some of the sellout. But other than that, black people are moving in a way where we're not even being bothered. Oh my God. Oh my God, the country's in shambles. Oh, they're being unfair. Black folks are like, yo, man, I'm going to Costco. What you about to do? So, hey, man, it is what it is. You voted for your own demise. And that's just the way it goes.
And I don't want to hear MAGA complain about nothing. And I don't care that your views have changed and you regret your decision. You're MAGA for life. You signed to death row. There are some decisions that you make in life that you cannot backtrack from. This is one. You can't fix this. You made that decision when you were warned, you were told, it was written. And a lot of you read it, but you didn't think it would affect you. So I don't want to hear the complaints about the gas prices. I don't care that you can't afford groceries. I don't want to hear you say you don't agree with this war, because you do, and you did, and you voted for it. Everything that's happening is your fault. All those babies getting bombed in that school, that's your fault. All the soldiers that's dying that we yet to know about, it's your fault. You made this decision. So not only you suffer, but you made a decision to make millions suffer. And the blood is on your hands. Deal with it.
I've looked, but I can't find any compassion for Trump voters who now claim to have been duped because he said no new foreign wars, and you're in a foreign war. He said prices would go down. All prices have gone up. No one can even afford gas. But here's the thing. You voted for a liar, and you were okay with him being a liar. But now that he's lied to you, you're mad. Yeah, I still can't find any compassion.
Yeah, it only became a problem when it started to affect them personally, because for a long time, some were comfortable supporting policies that targeted immigrants, poor families, minorities, and the vulnerable communities, as long as they thought that they would be safe from the damage. But politics doesn't work like that, When you vote for cruelty, chaos eventually reaches everybody. So let's have a look.
Voters who have lost their appetite for Trump, absolutely. Congratulations. I'm sorry he disappointed you. I know exactly how he did, by promising you things he's completely ignored. I get you. Come on over. The water's warm. But for the professional liars, losers, and grifters, no, we don't want you. And just because you've come to where we have been for 10 years doesn't mean you get to use us to launder your reputations. Not happening on my watch. Ooh. And I don't like this conversation where it's like, well, shouldn't we give them credit? No credit. It's at the 11th hour. It's the 11th hour of this. He is a lame duck. He is gone in 2 years.
Guys.
What took you so long? I'm sorry. Somebody stop me or I will
How do you really feel?
Yeah, exactly. This is personal. I've gotten death threats. I have lived this life at the expense of profession, at the expense of friendships, at the expense of money. I've done it. It's been hard, but it's my conscience telling me to do it. You don't get to flip a switch and say, I don't like him anymore.
If you're thinking that you've heard it all before, you have. All of these prominent MAGA like Tucker Carlson, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Candace Owens, Nick Fuentes, Theo Vaughn, Joe Rogan, and others, including the Joe Blow, Ken, and Carolyn Bryant MAGAs that are online making these confessional videos where they are expressing sorrow and regret for their support of MAGA and the felon in chief, claiming that this isn't what they voted for. This isn't what they asked for, that they don't understand what's happened to their political party. You have heard it all before. Take a look.
I'm Matt, and I'm a former Trump voter. One of my biggest beefs with Donald Trump is that with him, anybody who doesn't agree with him is a radical, is a lunatic, is a leftist, a Marxist, a communist, somebody out to destroy America. I'm going to vote for Kamala Harris because I don't want to live in a world that's all about hatred and retribution and getting even with your neighbors and getting rid of people who are different from me.
This is the most important election of our lifetime.
Scott Peoples is a self-described conservative, but he says he's made a point of voting early in North Carolina and casting his ballot for Democrat Kamala Harris.
Have just been turned away by what the party's become under Donald Trump and the MAGA movement, and kind of feel like our values haven't changed at all. It's the party's values that have changed.
I am voting for Kamala Harris because I believe that there will still be a fair election in 2028 if she wins. I can't promise that if Donald Trump wins. I know there's a lot of Trump supporters out there who are like me, voted for him twice. It's okay to leave. It's okay to put country over party, and I get it.
I told you all, you've heard it before. That video clip that you just watched was from a group called Republicans for Kamala Harris. And a couple of months before Election Day, they released a slick marketing campaign that had videos of MAGA talking heads who claimed that they were regretful for their support of the felon in chief and that they hated what their party had come to represent, and that they were going to put country over party. And of course, we now know that that was all bullshit. Another group I'm going to lump in with them is White Women for Kamala Harris. That's the group of white women that held a Zoom call that raised millions for the vice president's campaign after Black women did it and raised millions of dollars in their historic Zoom call. And we know white women are constantly wanting to steal the thunder from Black women and get attention. And that's exactly what all that was. Because despite those white women claiming that for once they were going to vote in their best interest, they again voted along with their race. We will never forget this statistic after Election Day, November 5th, 2024. So now here we are again, and we have MAGA online with their confessional videos again claiming, oh no, we were deceived. This isn't what we voted for. We hate what our party has come to represent. We don't care. We don't believe you, whether you're being sincere or not, and you're not. You have proven that you are liars as well as racist, misogynist, xenophobic, homophobic, transphobic. And here's a question to all of you MAGA who claim to be so sorry and so filled with regret. What the hell are you doing about it right now? And don't list those parades that cosplay as protest. What exactly are you doing? Because the rest of us know, again, exactly who you are and what you are. And you're not fooling us. And you will never wash all of the blood off your hands. You will live with it because we would never, ever let you forget.
I just saw another clip of a Trump supporter regretting their vote, and they're upset that this administration lied to them. Ah, shucks. If only someone told you that he didn't give a fuck about you. What are we supposed to say? Mistakes happen. Most of you voted 3 times, knowing exactly what you were getting into. In what world did you think he was looking out for you? In what world do you think that RFK, Kid Rock, fucking any of them wants the best for you? You really thought that they were just gonna make America great again and healthy again, and your life was gonna get better? You think that the people at the top want you to get better? They want you to be so distracted with hating the libs so much that you don't realize that you're also getting fucked. You know the worst part? A lot of you are still not going to learn from this. Because you got to thrive in a community where you finally felt accepted and significant and and superior. Go on, bring up Biden, bring up Obama, and just act like the functional people don't know that you're allergic to any sort of accountability.
I need to know who's still simping for MAGA. Who's still simping for this Trump regime? We have lost 1 million plus jobs and counting this year, the worst year on record since COVID and the 2008 financial crisis. I need to know when everybody is going to wake up. When are we physically going to take this country back? Because all I see is him running it into the ground while they are all getting filthy, disgusting rich. I don't know if you saw this, but the Pentagon has awarded a $650 million contract to whom? This is the largest contract in U.S. history, by the way. And who was it awarded to? That's right, the same investment firm that Don Jr. heads. We, taxpayer funds of $650 million, have just gone to Don Jr.'s fund. I mean, what are we doing?
This is a lesson that too many people keep learning the hard way, that when you vote based on anger, revenge, culture wars, or the desire to punish someone else, you often end up punishing yourself. And a lot of Trump voters, they were sold a dream that groceries would be cheaper immediately, gas would drop, jobs would boom, not wars. And that message was emotional, simple, and powerful. But governing is not about rallies, It is not about slogans or blaming immigrants, blaming Democrats, blaming the media, or blaming everyone every time the promises fail. No, reality is hitting families across America. Families are standing in grocery stores, realizing that they cannot stretch their paychecks like before. Seniors are worried about healthcare. Low-income families are worried about food assistance. Veterans, disabled Americans, single mothers, and struggling workers are all wondering why life feels so hard, And some of the same people who voted for these policies are now asking, what happened? Well, what happened is that elections have consequences. If you vote for politicians who openly talk about carrying the safety nets programs, eventually those cards often reach you. If you vote for leaders who prioritize tax breaks for the wealthy instead of helping working people, eventually you feel it. If you vote for division instead of solutions, eventually division reaches your home, workplace, and even your wallet. And let's be honest, some of these voters were willing to ignore all the warnings that were given because they thought the pain would land on someone else, They thought the immigrants would suffer. They thought black communities would suffer. They thought poor urban communities would suffer while they enjoyed the benefits. But inflation does not care who you voted for. Healthcare cuts do not check your party, That's why many people are finding it hard to feel sympathy for them because there were years of warning, But many people chose mockery over listening. But regret can be meaningful if it leads to growth. Saying I'm sorry means little if it's only about personal discomfort. Real accountability means asking, why did I support this in the first place, Why was I comfortable when others were suffering? Why did I vote for slogans over facts? And why did I vote emotionally instead of practically, And this should be a warning to every voter. Never vote for someone because they make your enemies angry. Never vote for someone because they promise revenge. Vote for healthcare. Vote for wages. Vote for education, Vote for stability. Vote for truth. Because when the cameras go off, when rallies end, when the slogans fade, you still have to buy groceries, You still have to pay rent. You still have to buy medicine. You still want peace. And you still want a future for your children. And to those voters saying that they are sorry now, the question is not whether people should forgive you. The question is, have you learned that voting against someone else's interest becomes voting against your own. So thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share. Have a good one. I'll see you in the next video.